Well, I would love to thank, first of all, Sasson Business School for having us. Thank you very much. And it's an honor and a privilege to have everyone here with us today. I know everyone's very, very busy, so I'm going to keep my presentation very, very short. But I do want to start off with a very important story. Okay? Why did I go into artificial intelligence? What is artificial intelligence? How do we define intelligence? Artificial, I think I know what the meaning is. Okay? But what does intelligence mean? How can we define intelligence? Because intuition is also intelligence. Making decisions through experience is also intelligence. Okay? But if you look at the dictionary term, intelligence means the ability to reason. Okay? Now, what is reasoning process? Okay? So we looked at reasoning process because we wanted to focus on the intelligence, not artificial. Right? There are so many companies right now focusing on, in our opinion, artificial part of artificial intelligence. Okay? Data, very important. Okay? Supercomputing power, very important, yes. But the thing is, if you think about how we as human beings think logically, we don't think with trillions of data points. We think with certain predicates, common sense, but also knowledge that we learn from school, from the environment, from our family, from mothers, fathers, grandparents. That's how we absorb knowledge, right? We educate children in different domains. And then when they graduate from high school, they can choose to become a lawyer, a doctor, a finance person, or a designer, or whatever. But the thing is, we don't teach children with 1.5 trillion points of data. Okay? That's not how intelligence is formed. So what we wanted to focus on at Mind AI is what is the logical reasoning process? Okay? How can we define what logical reasoning is? Okay? Everyone, my previous speakers, already, I'm sure, told you about the size of the AI industry, told you about ChatGPT, its limitations, its fortes, but I want you to focus on three things before you go. Okay? First of all, what is artificial intelligence? What really is intelligence? That's the first thing. The second thing is, I want you to understand how big the AI industry is. Okay? Not one company or even 10 companies can fulfill the whole landscape. There are going to be hundreds of companies. Okay? But the thing is, you need to be able to focus on a domain and stick with it and be very, very good at it. Okay? What we decided to focus on is logical reasoning using natural language. Whether it's Thai, whether it's English, whether it's Korean, it doesn't matter. Because we use what we call a symbolic model. Now, before I go into Mind AI, I want to give you a quick story of why I believed that Mind AI was going to work. Okay? So I have two beautiful daughters. Okay? Now, my wife, being very, very careful, she's like, never put Gloria, our firstborn, at the front of the car. Always put her in the child seat, okay, when you're going in the car, driving. But my 5-year-old daughter, she always wants to sit next to me when I'm driving, right? So she said, okay, Dad, I'm going to sit next to you today. Don't tell Mom, okay? I said, I'm not going to tell Mom. It's our little secret. Okay? So she sits next to me, and we drive. And then all of a sudden, my wife calls. She's like, oh, how's everything? And I'm like, oh, she's fine. She's sitting next to me. Everything's good. You know, we're going to be home very, very quickly. And then I turn off the phone, and I look at my firstborn, Gloria, and she's angry, right? She's already angry. She's like, you told me that you were going to keep this a secret. And I told her, I didn't tell her that you were sitting at the front. I told her, I didn't tell Mom that you're sitting at the front. And then Gloria, what she said, which was very, very interesting, was, well, you told Mom that I was sitting next to you, right? Now let's think about that a little bit. That means through her 5-year-old common sense knowledge, okay, she did logical reasoning process. She thought, okay, because Dad is driving, he's going to be sitting at the front of the car. So if I'm sitting next to my dad, that also means that I'm sitting at the front, right? That is logical reasoning right there. And I learned it from a 5-year-old, okay? So after that incident, I realized, okay, that's how human beings think. We use the data points that we have on hand, okay, and we make sense of our surroundings and think. That is what Mind AI is all about, okay? That simple, logical reasoning process, okay? So, it took us exactly 13 years to get here, okay? 1-3. A lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of development. But the core of it is we needed to find what defines that data structure of logical reasoning. Okay? We needed to find it. I was desperate to find it. Right? And then we came up with this very simple triangular structure that you see here. It's what we call the basic unit of reasoning. Okay? And this very simple triangular structure took us 13 years to build. Okay. Obviously, we were very, very lucky to get an international patent on this, and we have 7 to 9 other patents already pending surrounding this technology. Okay? But this focuses on 3 things: deduction, induction, and abduction. Those are the 3 reasoning processes that human beings use to think. Okay? And that's the only thing we do. We only do logical reasoning using natural language. Okay? Now the AI space is huge. Right? There's computer vision, there's text-to-speech, speech-to-text, there's going to be ChatGPTs, large language models. Not just ChatGPT, if you think about it. Baidu's going to come up with their large language model. Naver and Line are going to come up with their one. Okay? Amazon, Microsoft, Google, everyone's going to come up with their large language models. The problem is they all act in the exact same manner. Okay? All that is different is how much data they have, how much supercomputing power they have. So as a startup, we said we can't compete with the big guys if we focus on the Me Too project. Okay? We're never going to get there. Okay? What we had to focus on was a niche that we could really, really do well and just focus on that so that ChatGPTs of the world can be able to use our technology. Okay? And that's how far we have come. This simple triangular structure has made that happen. Now, we've built the engine, okay? Now we need the fuel. The fuel, as I told you before, is the common sense knowledge, okay? Like my firstborn Gloria thought that, okay, driver always sits at the front, right? That is common sense knowledge. That is what we call ontology, and that's what we are putting in to our engine. So we are collecting these ontologies and making our engine smarter and smarter and smarter. Okay? There are 2 kinds of ontologies. One is definitional ontologies. Now, definitional ontologies is like, what does this word mean? What does this sentence mean? Right? The predicate ontology is a little different. It's more on the lines of what happens if this happens. Okay? Meaning, for example, it's like when I am on Earth, gravity pulls me down. That is a predicate ontology. Gravity exists if a mass of an object exists. Okay? It's simple physics. We know it as common sense knowledge because we learned it in school. We need to teach that to our engine. And then it will understand what gravity is. Okay? So these are the fuel that we need to collect. And Dr. Gong already showed you about the Kenyan workers, okay, $2 per hour, really getting the data points for ChatGPT. We don't need millions and millions of workers right now. Right now, we need computational linguists, and we have a bunch of them, to really understand what predicate ontologies is and feed that into our engine. Okay? So, first of all, we don't need 1.3 trillion points of data. Maybe we need about 1 million or 2, significantly lower. Okay? And our system can run on a mobile phone. We don't need massive, massive supercomputing power. These are the patents that we have and the patents that we are getting right now. These are pending. The product overview will be explained to you in much more detail from our country head, Ron, who's going to be presenting. He's going to be presenting in, I think, Thai. So I think it's going to be much easier for everyone to understand. Now, this is the leadership team. We are from Korea, but also, if you look at the team composition, we are from 11 countries. 11 countries in 3 continents. Majority of our team focuses on research and development. We are a research and development hub. Now we have just began to commercialize. And we have new products coming up. That's why we wanted to invite all of you and say, this is what we're doing. This is what we have. And I think you're going to enjoy it. The market opportunities, already, previous speakers have talked about the market size. Okay? It's not just billions, it's trillions. This industry is going to be changing what you know as technology from the ground up. Okay? It's not just going to change incrementally. The change is going to be so diverse and so sudden that you need to be ready. Okay? And we have the tools, not just Mind AI, but all AI companies right now are focusing on tools to help businesses, help humanity move forward. Already, Dr. Gong has already explained about the limitations of natural language processing or machine learning, deep learning technologies. Okay? The main problem, okay, is this. They don't have transparency. It's a black box. Okay? Black box is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. I come from a medical background. I'm an MD, medical doctor by training. If I was to use AI in the healthcare space, I need to know how it got to the conclusion. Okay? Exactly how. It can be wrong. I don't care if it's wrong. As long as I can go and see what steps it used to come to that conclusion. Because if I know how, then I can change it, I can tweak it, and I can make it correct. Right? So transparency is very, very important in a deterministic, specific, purpose-driven model. That's what differentiates Mind AI from the others. Because that triangular structure that you saw is innately transparent. You can follow the process, trace it back to what kind of ontologies it used to come to the conclusion. That's why Mind AI can be used as a filter for the large language models. Does that make sense? Generative AI models have tons and tons of data that they're going to be feeding. But somewhere, it has to go through a filter to make sure we know what kind of information was used to come to this conclusion. That filter is Mind AI. Also, context hopping and transfer of knowledge is very, very important. If you look at the conversation that even I am having with you right now, I can be talking about subject A, I can jump to subject D or Z, and then come back to A, right? That's how human beings think and talk. We don't talk A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's not how we talk. In customer support or customer delivery or even client support, the end customers, they're not going to ask questions in an orderly manner. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want it to. You want them to because you designed it that way. But at the end of the day, they're going to be asking C first, and then Y next, and then come back to A, and then go to B. Right? That needs to happen naturally. And that's what context hopping is. Transfer of knowledge. This is very, very important because as human beings, sometimes we collect knowledges from different aspects, right? From medicine, I can use the same information that I had or learnt in medicine to use it for other domains, right? I can use my knowledge that I use for playing soccer, and then I can use that knowledge to use it for playing rugby, right? That's transfer of knowledge. We do it all the time. We connect the dots from random places all the time to make sense of it. But in order to do that, you need logical reasoning process. You need the abduction, deduction, and induction. That's why at Mind AI, we have the ability to do transfer of knowledge. Those three things are the key differentiators of any other neural networks or machine learning technologies. Our country head will be going into more detail about human logic intelligence as well as literate intelligence. Okay? But this, what I believe and what our team believes is what is the actual end goal for an AI company? Right? What is the end goal? Our goal is to be able to help in creating or coming to artificial general intelligence. Okay? Artificial general intelligence requires many, many different things. Okay? But what we believe is at the core, or nearer to the core, you need logical reasoning process. Okay? Natural language generation is great. It's very, very good. But even natural language generation needs logical reasoning process in order to make some specific purpose happen. And that's what we want to focus on. These are the use cases that we can use right now. We can use it for customer support, product search ordering, sales and marketing, intelligent automation, recommendations, smart advisory, information provider. We can even use it for avatars and game characters to provide personality to these characters. But also, most importantly, what we want to do and what we are focusing on is reasoning comprehension. Okay. Now, reasoning comprehension is very different from reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is basically getting the facts out of a text. What we want to do is getting the facts out, yes. But what can the AI come up with? Can it come up with its own theory or theses using the information in the text? Because if it can, then it can help me diagnose people. It can help me with law cases. It can help me decide what portfolio companies I should invest in. Because I will know how it got to the conclusion, with what kind of evidence it got to that conclusion, and I'll know. And I can use my common sense knowledge, my expertise, with the assistance of this AI. That is the future of Mind AI. The business model will be gone through very, very in detail by Ron. Just to give you a little bit of the presence of where we are. So we are currently in Korea, US, Philippines, Thailand, India, as well as the GCC countries. We're focusing on e-commerce, technology companies, real estate, education, automobile, and government as well. Okay. Government projects right now, the biggest one that we have secured is the one in India with Ministry of IT. It's called Common Service Centers. Common Service Centers is where you go and renew your passport, renew your driver's license, do all the admin stuff that you need to do, okay? In Korea, let me give you an example. There are 2,500 Common Service Centers. In India, there are 500,000 of them, okay? 500,000. And Mind AI has just got the exclusive contract with all 500,000. The product roadmap. You can't see anything, it's too small. But I want you to focus on this, and this is my last slide. What is the future objective? Now, I want to compare it to the computer industry, okay? Inside your laptop, you have your graphics card, you have your keyboard, your monitor, all these things. But what is the most important component? What is the most important thing that you need in a laptop? It's the CPU, right? CPU is the brain of the computer industry, right? What we want to do, I don't think we can be the full only, one and only CPU. I want to be, but I think it's going to be very doubtful. But I think we can be one of the leaders in building natural language logical reasoning process. Because that's the only thing that we do. And that's the only thing that we focus on. And to be honest, that's the only thing that we're good at. Okay? So I want you to think about three things. First of all, artificial intelligence. The word intelligence. Okay? The next thing is, there are many, many different companies in the AI industry, and you need to think very hard about which one to back, which one to use, and why you're using it. Thirdly, I want everyone here to be prepared for the new era and the new wave of technology that is going to be based purely on the advancement of artificial intelligence. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much.